feud with the family of a fallen Muslim American soldier. Dozens of Gold Star family members and decorated veterans from across the political spectrum now criticizing Trump's remarks. Let's discuss with U.S. Marine Corps veteran Taib M. Rashid and CNN political commentator and Donald Trump supporter Jeffrey Lord. Jeffrey, I want to read to you now a statement from the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Brian Duffy, the leader of that group, they put out a statement overnight. They said, to ridicule a Gold Star mother is out of bounds. Election year or not, the VFW will not tolerate anyone berating a Gold Star family member for exercising his or her right of speech or expression. The VFW, Jeffrey, you've been in politics a long time. You know the VFW is not a group that you want to upset, and it is not helpful for a campaign to have a statement like that coming from a group like the VFW.
John, I think, first of all, I think Donald Trump spoke there the other week and was extremely well received. John, let me just say something to you. I was with Donald Trump last night. He was right here, about 5 miles up the road from me in a high school. The place was filled, packed. There were thousands of people who couldn't get in. I spoke to him. He spoke to the crowd, of course. He never mentioned the cons. When I talked to people in the crowd, and I can only tell you they were very, very, very energized, the people in the crowd never brought up the cons. Never, not once. When I spoke to people and asked what's going on with them, they talked about Obamacare, they talked about jobs, this sort of thing. Not a single solitary person. My point to you is, he said at some point last night that we've got to punch through the media. That line, or one similar to that, got raucous applause. I mean, it was long-lasting and sustained. There is very clearly a feeling here that the media is out to get him. And I'm just telling you what I heard from the people at this rally here. And again, he never mentioned the cons once.
No, and we do appreciate the report from the ground there, Jeffrey, but he was on Twitter repeatedly yesterday, and he did do an interview with an Ohio affiliate where he was asked about the cons. Granted, he was asked. He did an interview with Sean Hannity last night where he was asked, and he continued to answer in ways that do raise a lot of eyebrows. But Taib, let me ask you, because Khizr Khan was on TV a lot yesterday. I mean, Khizr Khan was doing interviews all day long, including 2 here on CNN. He has entered now the political discourse. What is Donald Trump's right to respond to the criticism from Mr. Khan?
Well, good morning, John. I think the thing we have to recognize is Mr. Trump is pandering to his base, who is completely ignorant on a number of issues, including the Constitution and the true teachings of Islam. So I think while Mr. Trump on a personal level has the right to speak whatever he wants, I think given that his running for the president of the United States, he needs to be a uniting force, not a dividing force. And unfortunately, pandering to his ignorant base and perpetuating the misconceptions, particularly as it relates to Islam, is extremely dangerous. In this effort, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is asking all Trump supporters and all supporters out there to join us in educating everyone about the true teachings of Islam by endorsing the 11 points on TrueIslam.com. Things like Islam requires loyalty to the Muslim's place of residence. Things like Islam advocates for and champions equality and empowerment of women. These are common misconceptions that are out there that terrorists often use to recruit. And unfortunately, Mr. Trump is joining the fight with the terrorists and actually providing fuel for them to recruit even more, which is actually perpetuating this endless cycle.
Taib, you're a veteran. I don't think you are involved in politics, but in politics, it's a risky thing to call voters, even if they're not your voters, ignorant. You are calling Donald Trump supporters ignorant this morning?
This morning, I'm saying that there's a lot of misconceptions about Islam. And while many of his voters would be educated, I think that there's a large base that simply do not know what the true teachings of Islam really are. And we are taking it upon ourselves, and I'm calling on all American Muslims and really all American citizens to take it upon themselves to educate yourself about the true teachings of Islam so that we can really win this ideological war that we're fighting.
Jeffrey, I want to play you quickly sound, if I can, and it is quick, from Donald Trump in that interview he did with an Ohio affiliate last night where he talked again about Mr. Khan. Let's listen.
Border security is very big, and when you have radical Islamic terrorists probably all over the place. We're allowing them to come in by the thousands and thousands, and I think that's what bothered Mr. Khan more than anything else. And, you know, I'm not going to change my views on that. We have radical Islamic terrorists coming in that have to be stopped.
So in that interview, first of all, he said there are thousands and thousands of radical Islamic terrorists coming into the U.S. There's no evidence of that, Jeffrey. And he also said maybe that's what's bothering Mr. Khan. He suggested somehow, Jeffrey, that it's because Donald Trump wants to stop terrorists from coming into the United States. That's what bothers Khizr Khan. I don't understand what he's getting at there. Do you?
No. I understand what he's saying. Mr. Khan has said quite clearly he was upset. First of all, Mr. Khan misrepresented Donald Trump. He said that he wanted to ban Muslims. That is not accurate. What he said is what Donald Trump said is he wanted a temporary halt in the immigration system until we could figure out what was going on. And quite clearly, in San Bernardino, where someone came into this country with a legal visa, what was it, a K-1 fiancé visa, and then proceeded to mass murder 14 people, and they weren't checked. That's the kind of thing that Donald Trump is talking about, and that's what has many Americans upset. And I might add, John, to say that the American people are ignorant, you know, when I saw thousands of people last night with thousands more who couldn't get in, to call them ignorant is shameful.
All right, Jeffrey Lord, Taib Rashid, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.